Chafing Armor Podcast, episode 150. A Clinched Fist. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host and lovable Dungeon Master, Michael Corley, and with me tonight is Lee. Lee, tell us who you will be playing.
Okay, everybody, my name is Lee, and I'll be playing Distant Bells, who is currently unable to eat any candy.
That's right, cannot, even though he's surrounded by it. And also with us tonight is Riley. Riley, tell us who you will be playing.
Hi, I'm Riley, and I'm playing Athora Greyfield, a tiefling fighter.
Wonderful. And also with us tonight is Dare. Dare, tell us who you will be playing.
Hello, everyone. I am Dare, and I am playing Tix Birchmanson, the mighty, shiny, short paladin of Garl Glittergold.
And also with us tonight is Izzy. Izzy, tell us who you will be playing.
Hello, everybody. My name is Izzy, and I will be playing Marezi Mugraw, half-orc barbarian.
Wonderful. When we last left our players, they had defeated an aboleth, a horrible creature from under the deep. A magical rapier, or half of one, had been retrieved by Athora with unknown powers. At the moment, the slightly turned into a toy, Distant Bells is enjoying some candy, well, watching candy being enjoyed by Petnik, the young girl, while her mother, Osfalar, had gone to see if they could find the adventuring party. And the adventuring party had to hand it to him. That a bum. Tix was attacked by a severed hand that tried to choke the life out of him. He successfully destroyed it. But what also happened was when they went inside, they found the family of the Cragmanes. That's Thackum, the blacksmith, his wife Aura, their two tiefling children, Ash, the youngest, and Johanna, who had all been in some way magicked up, and not revealing anything that y'all don't know, that Bane seems to be involved. The dead, trying not to be dead god, whose resurrection was thwarted, actually, by Distant Bells and Marezi in the city of Zintel Keep. Though it did set into motion the destruction of that city. One could argue whether or not you actually destroyed the city, though. They were planning on doing that anyway. So, we are not going to come back to y'all at the moment, but be ready. Be very, very ready. We're going to come back to that candy-eating scene at Potions Are Us. We're in the back room. Galen Bay, the halfling with long, knotted, tangled blonde hair, dirty blonde hair, and Petnik, the young half-elf that Distant Bells has saved and befriended, and Distant Bells, the sentient toy at the moment of a kinku, are in the back enjoying some delicious taffy-like candy when there's the ding-ding of the door opening. And Galen says, just one moment. And she steps into the front, and you hear just a deep, melodic voice, Distant Bells, of a woman, and she says, "Well, hello there. I am looking for someone." And there's like a slight drop in Galen's voice. It's like, you don't need any potions? Oh no, I don't require any potions. I'm looking for someone. It's a young lad. His name is Penton Chalice.
Bells will make sure that Pet is fully engrossed in her candy before.
Not difficult.
Before, kind of making his way to the door jamb to kind of have a bit of an eavesdrop, shall we say.
Okay. Well, you very easily. It's not. I mean, the door is literally like she didn't close the door to the back. Possibly also she could keep an eye on y'all. I mean, you are strangers, even if you are heroes, so that she can kind of keep an eye on you. So you can definitely hear as you move forward, and you catch just the littlest peek of a very tall woman, tall for a human woman. She has long black hair, pale ice blue eyes. And can you give me a quick spot check?
Okay.
This really isn't really a spot check, but I'm going to have you roll that anyway.
24.
Yes. 24. You get like a perfect, like you almost look right into her eyes, even though she's looking at Galen. And she has the exact color of ice blue eyes as Penton. They are a very distinctive color. You know how some people have those eyes that are so pale that they almost seem like transparent. They're very, very similar. And she is now describing Penton to Galen. You notice a slight difference that she is apparently describing a child, but otherwise is describing Penton. And Galen just shakes their head because they... well, now my brain is forgetting. Penton, did you go into the store?
No,
I don't know. You didn't, because you went back to look for the bottle.
Yeah, I never actually went in.
Yeah. So Galen is shaking her head. No, she has not seen this person.
Bells will, against his better judgment, step out and just kind of try to get the attention of the tall, scary-looking woman.
Okay.
Which probably shouldn't be that hard, given I'm a ambulatory toy, but, you know.
True. And I will say, just like, oh, I like your vibe. Like, her vibe is imposing. Like, it is absolutely imposing, but it is not threatening. It is not, like, ominous or dangerous. You know, you've been an adventurer long enough that you have, like, a sense of these things. But it is imposing. And she looks down at you, and just a very slight grin comes over, and she just goes, well, that is just delightful. That is just... I like that. I like that very much.
Bells will kind of... using his ring of jumping, attempt to jump onto the counter.
You do not need to roll with the ring of jumping. In fact, if anything, I just want to know like whether or not you overshoot. So I would like you to make a quick athletics roll for me.
Well, I have a jump, so...
Oh, jump. Yes, please. That is their preferred skill. Yes, please.
Okay, 26?
Yes, you deftly, though it is going to take a little getting used to, because this is magic. This isn't just, like, I can jump real good. But you deftly whoop right up onto the counter, and she gazes down upon you, and she kind of like tilts her head a little bit, and you get like a pulse of magic from her, something you're a big fan of, I know. And she goes, "Oh, well, you're not a little construct, are you? You're a you, aren't you?"
Bells will kind of take a marginal step back as the wave of magic sort of flows over his body, and just kind of dip his head. And it's a long story, but more importantly, I know who you're looking for.
Oh, and like her face just lights up. Now, not in a like excited child, but just like a somewhat regal woman who's heard that the banquet is tonight. Just like, oh, that is delightful. Yes, if you could assist me in locating my Penton. I know that he's in the city, but it's just there's so much hubbub here. I usually prefer quieter things, and it's confusing my senses just a little bit.
You're in luck. I provided the hubbub that has obviously just occurred a few moments ago has calmed down. They should be along any time soon. We have sent out a companion to gather the rest of the crew, and Penton is one of them. So you can wait here where it is nice and quiet, so you don't have to worry about running around the city looking for him. I'm not going anywhere. I can't really do anything in this form. So just patience, perhaps? He should be along shortly. Dice willing?
Quick question. Did you choose this form?
No. I had this form forced upon me by a creature in the astral plane.
I have some knowledge of changing forms, and it's just so obvious that she's just delighted by a little joke that she said to herself.
Can I roll like an insight or something to find out?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me just do a quick check it. Oh, that's a nat. No, that's a 19. Thank you. Thank you, dice. Yep. Plus... I don't know, what would you call this? Wisdom, intelligence, charisma?
This is wisdom.
Wisdom? Okay.
Wisdom is an insight, is like an insight type.
So 21 total.
21 total. Okay. First of all, you don't sense like malicious intent from her. You don't think. She is. You definitely confirm what you originally thought, that she is a person of great power. She reminds you a little bit of the alderman, actually. That like there's a great deal of reserved power. Like, I'm so powerful, I don't need to brag or show off kind of power. She's, as far as you can tell, being honest. And you have truly captured her curiosity, is what you think is happening.
Have I, having been in Buntings and the dark underbelly of Zental Keep, have I encountered something similar to this before?
Well, you have absolutely encountered creatures who have shape changed. You think that this is not this creature's true form. But you do not, even with your role, you do not know what this creature is.
Yeah.
But you...
Bells will sort of blink and so I get that sense, my lady. And I apologize for my curiosity, but perhaps this is not your true form as well.
Okay. She frowns a little bit at that. Like, she doesn't care for that a whole lot. And she says, Interesting. Do you want to stay this way?
It has its perks, and it has its flaws. I'm sure you are quite aware. It's difficult to tell unless you're actually looking at him, but he winks.
He's capable of winking.
He almost can't help it.
She laughs, and she says, I honestly do not know if I could end this ensorcelment, but if you would like, I would be happy to try.
Bells will sort of incline his head and go, perhaps we shall wait until the rest of the party gets here, so we can have some discussions around various things, and so you can meet Penton, who, fair warning, he's not a child anymore. You appear to be describing him as a child, but he is not anymore. He is it's difficult to say, but somewhere in his late 20s, early 30s.
Really? They do grow up fast. They do. I remember the day that he was born. And that's where we cut! to suddenly Aura Cragmane crying out in pain as her birth of her child is beginning. You are all in the residence of the Cragmanes in the main dining area where the hearth is burning brightly. The two children in the arms of Athora, Thracum, the blacksmith, unconscious. By the way, she is... Thracum is actually bleeding quite profusely from the stump on his hand. There's been a lot going on, so y'all haven't had a chance to, respond to everything. But I just wanted to give y'all a feel for that. Just a moment ago, you heard all in your heads the voice, unmistakably, of Bane, the god of the Faerun, who had finally been betrayed and destroyed. He say, "Rock-a-bye, baby." And that's when Aura cries out again, and her belly moves.
Sorry, just before, you said that is that everybody in that room, or, did Bells hear that?
Oh, no, you didn't hear it,
okay.
because you were not close enough.
I just wasn't sure how widespread this was.
Gotcha. I appreciate you clarifying. Yes, this is happening in a different building.
Penton, having heard that and seeing that there's something bad going on around her belly, is going to immediately get to his knees and cast Protection from Evil on Aura.
Okay. So I would like you to make an Arcana check.
Okay. I don't know if I'm any good at that.
No, you are terrible at them.
27.
27. So casting Protection from Evil isn't a contest. You cast it, and then it happens. But when you cast this, there is an immediate backlash on you. You suddenly, need to grip hold of your staff to keep from being knocked down, as something, just a wave of necromantic energy, flows towards you as you cast Protection from Evil. And for a moment, it's like it's going to just literally shrug it off. But then it subsides, and you see her breathe a little more easily, and then she cries out again because she is giving birth.
Right.
But whatever you did does seem to have helped. And she does appear to be somewhat coming to consciousness.
Okay. I will stay by her and hold her hand and wait for her to wake up and help her get her bearings.
Okay. Athora, you hear Ash, the youngest tiefling, say, "How many times can you do that?" And he's clearly talking to you, Penton.
Ew, why are you taking... Oh, you're gross. Taking over kids? Come on, man.
And now...
That's wrong.
Johanna says, "I can do this all day." And then Thracum raises up his head and holds out his bloody stump, and he goes, "Would you like me to rip off another part? That was just the part where he promised himself to me."
Oh.
And just blood, and as he sits up, just a pulse of blood comes out of the stump. And he kind of cricks his head to the side.
All right. How big is this room?
It's pretty big. It's about 20 feet by 20 feet.
Okay. How far away is she from the rest of the family?
She is.
I know the kids were floating, and he was on the other side of the room.
I specifically said that she was on one side of the room, he was on the other side of the room, and the kids were floating in the middle. So she is
okay
on the other side.
All right. I'm going to. I'm gonna wink at the kids and then cast invisible sphere on myself and her.
Okay.
Invisibility sphere. That way, it just makes us both disappear.
Okay. You immediately both vanish from sight. Have you ever cast Invisible Sphere before?
Invisible Sphere? Yeah, we did that once
you've done that.
when
Yes,
we were
yes.
trying to approach Baba Yaga's hut.
Yes.
That proved to be futile.
She
but,
was Baba
you know.
Yaga. It wasn't your fault.
Yeah.
You didn't know it was Baba Yaga. So Thrackum says, that's delightful. That's precious. Now, here's what's going to happen. That baby is going to be born. All of my power is going to go into it, and I will be reborn on the mortal plane. And no stupid god of fate will stop it from happening. And certainly not a bunch of ridiculous adventurers who can't even do a simple spell right. You will all fail. The child will die, and there is nothing that you can do about it.
And while he's pontificating and
boy,
doing
is
his
he pontificating.
evil speech,
Oh, yeah, big time.
like he does, I'm going to go through the process of casting Dimension Door and go as far as, well, let's say,
Try the candy shop.
well, I was going to say, yeah, let's go back to. Is
Potions Are Us.
that shop? The Potions Are Us. Is that near anything else?
Well, it's in a
Like a shopping
mercantile.
district.
Yeah, literally a shopping district. Like I said, this is the very upper limit of what the city can afford. So these are a
Right.
series of nice shops, not unlike where where Scald's jewelry shop is.
Right.
in Mass-
Penton's just reacting and not really thinking, so that's like the freshest place in his head out after this place. So he's going to zap the both of them in that direction, assuming that it's within, like, I think it's 1,500 feet, something like that. I forget the exact distance that I can go, but it's something of that nature.
you can actually get pretty close.
Okay.
Well,
Wasn't
Marezi
all that far.
and Athora got to the place from Audrey's original location in one round.
Oh, that's true.
While running.
That's what I mean.
So-
It wasn't that far
yeah.
away.
Right, so I'll just like go to the door because I didn't see the inside of it. So I'll just go to the doorway of the place and then quickly carry her in.
Okay.
Still being invisible, of course.
Bane is a god of Faerun, a dark god of power and death, and his machinations know no end. But the sheer audacity of this, he does not expect it, and he is in the middle of his pontification when he feels the baby inside this woman just vanish from his immediate influence, and his pontification just stops like a dead thing, and the look on Thrackum's face, Athora and Marezi, just turns horribly ugly. And he goes, "You dare not do this thing!"
Tix is going to grab the children by the arm and drag them over to Thrackum, and then we'll cast. Okay. Brand new
You don't have
spell.
a punishment up your sleeve, do you?
Unfortunately, no. But I have Magic Circle.
Ooh.
And I've never had an opportunity to use this before.
This sounds like a great time.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Penton, you just appear in front, and since teleportation is not an attack, you do not become visible.
Okay.
Nor does the woman that you have in your arms, who is
Right.
very rapidly giving birth. And the shop is right in front of you.
Well, yeah, like I said, I'm going to carry her immediately inside.
Okay.
Just in case anything, in case we end up no longer being invisible, plus, safety.
Okay. You walk inside, and you immediately see Distant Bell standing on the counter. You past him, you can see Petnak with her face just red from candy that she's been eating. You can see Galen, the young woman, sort of sorting through some of her potions in preparations for some things. And then she turns around, and your mother looks right at you. And yes, I do mean right at you. And a slight look of surprise comes on her face.
A big look of surprise comes on my face, except that she's the only one that can probably see it at this point.
That's right. By the way, Distant Bells, the door just suddenly, boom, kicks up. It actually wasn't closed all the way when she came in. And so he just kicks the door open, and the door opens all by itself. And the woman turns and looks at something.
Bells
Is there a chair in the...
Bells were kind of...
Sorry, go ahead.
Bells were kind of looking and goes, and he's here now.
Is there a chair in the room?
Yes, there
nearby?
absolutely
Okay.
is.
I will set her down quickly on the chair and stand up straight Mom?
You want
Is
to?
it?
Is that you?
You want to drop the invisibility sphere?
And like the invisible Penton, so you hear the voice, Distant Bells, Mom? And she says, well, look at you. You have grown.
Well, yes, it's been 10 years? 10 years now?
Really? Oh, my goodness. You mortals. You are just, oh my goodness. How is your father?
What? What?
And that's when
Good?
Aura just cries out again and goes like, ah! You're not very familiar with birthing, but you think things are moving along.
As this is a lot, but there's a... can you see her? I assume you can see her.
Sure.
There's that she's pregnant, a lot pregnant, and Bane is trying to take her baby. So I ran away, and we came here, and then this, and I am so confused right now. But I don't have time to be confused, because we need to keep this lady's baby from being stolen by Bane. So, is there a back room?
There is. In fact, you can see Petnak in it.
I drop my invisibility, and I tell Aura, it might be easier. You just have to will the invisibility away, and then we can actually help you. Because otherwise, this is gonna be hard. I just wanted to hide you for the moment, just to keep you away from him.
She reaches up and she grabs you by the arm as her invisibility drops, and she looks you dead in the eye, and she goes, "He cannot have my," and then she uses several words that I won't say on the podcast. She cannot
Is
have
he?
my... yes.
Nice.
I'll have Izzy say them for us. No, just kidding.
My great duty I serve to the world.
That's right. That's
Duty.
Those are the words I say, yes.
Yes. No, definitely not. Let's get you farther back into the building and see what we can do. Why did you call me mortal, Mom? As I'm shuffling her back toward the back room.
I mean, you do that aging thing that like your dad. You're so like him in a lot of ways. I mean, I guess you're a little more like me in some ways. But I was just chatting with the nicest. I hadn't seen him in just an age, Droom, and he said that he saw it. He said that he had seen someone like you.
Penton unconsciously touches his forehead,
Mm-hmm.
and then we had a time with him. Does anybody know how to birth a baby?
Galen goes, no.
I think Morezi probably would have, if nobody had real skill in it, I think Morezi is probably likely the person who is attended birthings, and maybe then
Bells does.
Oh, interesting.
Yes,
The cleric
yes, that
probably
needs to
does.
happen. By the way, Bells, this is my mom,
We've met.
Amelia Ravenwood. This is a lot. This is a lot. I'm not going to help her get comfortable somewhere in a back room.
Okay. You do
Bells
your very
asks.
best.
Bells asks. Peyton. The
I'm sorry.
store owner, Galen. Yes,
Galen.
sorry. Bells
Galen
asks Galen if she has any hot water and towels.
I can make some real quick.
Please do.
She runs off to do that, and she understands the seriousness of the moment, and just runs off to do that. As y'all are getting her ready, Aura looks at you, Penton, and she says, "Look, I know the deal that my husband made. I understand. He was promised prosperity and success in all of his endeavors at work as a blacksmith, and in exchange that he owed Bane. And if he failed Bane, then Bane could take his hand, which of course is his livelihood. I don't know if he'll survive, but and she screams again and grabs your arm, Penton, and just squeezes. And she says, "But I could feel him inside me. He wants to take this baby, and I will not let him."
Definitely not. Bells, didn't we take care of this at some point? I don't remember.
Bells will kind of look at Penton and say, "You should probably be asking Tix about this."
Well, he's probably busy dealing with the echo of a god right now.
Tix is the only one with the information you want right now. I know because I overheard him speaking to Cragmane many
You did?
weeks ago.
You specifically overheard him.
So he's the only one who has the information that you require. But right now we have more important things to worry about.
Agreed. We go through the process. I'll let Bells, the stuffed animal, take the lead on getting a.
Bells will require your help, being the same
God.
size as the infant at this point.
I'll be your hands. Just tell me what to do.
Bells will. I assume we're not going to roleplay the entire birthing process at this point.
Oh, no,
please don't. Please
no.
don't.
We will not be doing that. The process is beginning. The hot towels and water have been acquired. What I would like, Bells, I would like you to make a roll. This is a knowledge check that you have, since you have done this task before.
Bells will also ask Pet to maybe tell the lovely pregnant lady a story. Keep her distracted, keep her breathing, but just, try not to let her focus on things too much.
She is all over this. And she starts telling a story of you and her owlbear and an adventure that they had. The two stuffed animals and the adventure that they had long ago.
Okay.
And she goes into that. Yes, this is a knowledge check, and you do have advantage on this because Pinson is helping you.
Well, I will say I don't need it, because I just rolled a nat 20 and a 2. Thanks, okay. Plus knowledge midwifery, which I, strangely enough, specifically put on my sheet, and I don't know why. Actually, no, I do know why. That's a plus 5, so 25.
Okay. So that is going very, very well, and your mother is watching on passively, not like disinterestedly, but just passively, Penton, and she goes, "Well, there is the matter that I do think this god is trying to be born into this baby. So probably we should do something about that.
Do you have any suggestions? I don't. I mean, I've dealt with a few gods, but not ones trying to get born. So I'm at a loss here.
Bells tersely responds, "It's not like we can shove it back in at this point."
This is a one-way street.
She laughs at that. She goes, "Well, what I more mean is we should, if we can redirect it, if we can give the gods somewhere else to go, then he'll have no choice but to go into it. And if he takes on a mortal form or a corruptible form, then you might be able to destroy him, or at least disrupt him badly."
Okay. Do you have another baby lying around? I don't. What?
I'm afraid I have just the one, and he's just. She actually reached out and she kind of like squeezes your cheek, which is not. It's a little more playful than her usually, but she seems to be in an especially good mood today. Because I'm afraid I've only got one of those. I'm not going to give him up.
Good. Huh. This is weird. This is weird.
There is a moment of pause.
Bells.
And that would do perfectly.
He kind of tosses it to her without even giving her a warning and says, "Do whatever you got to do. This thing's coming out."
Well, I think we need to get over to the god.
He'll be here soon, I'm sure of it.
Good point.
Well, it may be too late by then. You need to get his essence, as it were, into this egg.
Bells will look at Penton and go, "You want to go outside and shout his name? We're over here." Like, she can't move. We don't have much time. There's not really a lot we can do now.
I mean, I could take you there, but I'd be leaving a puppet to try and deliver a baby.
Oh well, I'll do it. I'm happy to help, Penton. I haven't spent time with you in a while.
Bells dismissively kind of flaps his hand at the two of them and just go. I'm sure Galen will at least be able to be a pair of hands.
I look at Galen. Does Galen look at all ready to cope with this situation?
They're doing okay. they're panicking, but you think that it's going to be
that
okay.
Makes all five of us. Okay.
Bells will look and go, "She's the one having the baby, not you."
Right. Okay, let's go trap God on an egg. Here we go. And I kind of start running for the door and then stop and then realize I'm supposed to be bringing my mother with me. So I wait for her to join me.
Okay. She just kind of she seems to be able to just keep pace with you no matter how fast you're running, without really trying. And she, as you're going, she goes, "I do like your wings. Those are new."
Oh, yeah. I sometimes forget. I don't know. What? How? You're acting. I'm saying this as we're walking or running over there. You seem to be more. I mean, I was a kid when you left. Maybe I didn't notice at the time, but you seem like a lot more than what you're letting on.
I don't know what you mean, son.
I think you do. We don't have time for Koi right now, Mom.
Well, we'll get to that in a moment.
Okay. And I imagine.
And y'all come up to the place. While they've been doing that, what has been going on with this circle? Tell me about this circle there.
Magic Circle is a 3rd level cleric spell that Tix knows, and it encompasses a 10-foot radius, just like Protection from Evil, except it protects everything inside the circle. And so he casts Magic Circle Protection from Evil, and so guards the 2 children and the blacksmith from any evil influence, mind influence, magic influence, and gives them +2, of course, to their armor class, which is minimal, and so thereby protects them from evil. And then cast Restoration on Thrackham's arm so that it quits bleeding.
That works. It does seal over, though it is a ragged stump. I mean, it literally tore itself off his arm. You cannot imagine what pain that does.
Lesser Restoration, and then he'll cast Cure Light Wounds to make sure that he doesn't die from blood loss.
Okay. That is very... He is very unconscious.
And he'll get... that's 15 points of healing.
So, to very important logistical question here, and y'all can do whatever you want. Athora and Morezi, are you in the circle or with Dare and Thrackum, or are you outside of the circle?
I'll stay outside of it.
Okay.
What's supposed to be in the circle?
In the circle is Tix and Thrackum and the 2 children.
Okay, so
Tix,
you've got all the children in there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He's
Tix
got all
dragged
the kids? Oh.
Yeah, I said Tix dragged the 2 children over to Thrackum and then cast the magic circle.
I guess Morezi will stay in the circle. Keep a close protection.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that is the big thing, is you can't cross the circle without causing problems. So that's you're all inside the circle is what I wanted to get to. As you do, there's a boom of magic that pulses outwards, and immediately you feel a swirling presence in the house, and boards begin to bam, and imagine that scene from Evil Dead 2 where the everything goes nuts, and just like pots and pans and tables are smashing themselves, and there's just this torrent of energy. And you hear this voice fading in and out, and he goes, "I will be born again, and you will all suffer." And that is when Penton comes flying through the door, holding something in his hands. And a woman comes behind him.
Ha-ha! I got this now! What do I do with it?
Tix, you see that he's holding an egg. For the listener, Lee, would you tell them what this egg is?
For those who are listening, as you just said, if you recall the April Fool's Day episode from many months ago, this is one of the boom jelly eggs that found its way inside the backpack of Distant Bells. He had 4 of them. Now he has 3, and Penton has this one in. Yeah, it is a deep purple with a soft orange glow in the middle, just like the boom jellies themselves.
Very, very true. And it is actually fairly close to its original size. It has been slightly transformed by your transfiguration, but it is still a boom jelly egg. Tix, I would like you to tell me, you see him holding an egg out in front of him. What would you like to do?
Tix will make a wisdom check to see if he can grasp what is going on.
Penton certainly doesn't know.
Go for it.
And, that's nice. That is a 22. And so
Okay.
he is reasonably sure that the egg is being substituted for the baby.
Yes. You cotton to this immediately, that is what they are trying to do, is if there is some way to get this god to go inside this egg instead of the baby. But the god that isn't probably the god's first choice. So...
He doesn't really have any others.
Right now, he still might be able to get into that baby. You don't know.
True.
He might not because of the distance.
Well, the baby's still under the protection from evil.
That's true. So it might be fine. I just wanted to say that things are very up in the air. So if there's anything that y'all can do to cajole this evil god to get in that there egg, anyone, by the way, Thora or Morezi.
Start making fun of it.
You're not.
Bane really doesn't like it so far. He's
So-
really not happy about it.
Tix fishes a piece of charcoal out of his pack that he uses for writing in his journal and writing to Duncan, and throws it to Penton and says, "Draw the sign of the eye, the scratched eye, on the egg."
Why?
Bane's sign.
That's not.
And
that's not
I
Bane's sign.
want to clarify. Yeah. And it's okay. Y'all guys, you've been doing this for 5 years. There's way too many stuff. I'm not getting after you. The sign of the scratched eye is
Falazure.
That's the cancer crone, isn't it?
Falazure. It is. That is actually correct. Cancer crone. It is their symbol, and they worship Falazare. However, just to clarify why you would say that is Bane seems to be in some way working with Cancer Crone. In that, like, literally the Death Knight of Bane tried to kill you under the Necropolis. So there seems to be a connection between the two. Bane's eye is what I shared in Discord earlier, is a clawed hand. The whole hand. He seems to like the whole hand thing. And when you, Tix, found that glove, that was a symbol of Bane that you found in the destroyed Zental Keep.
Right.
That was actually a gauntlet of Bane, which allowed y'all to transport back. So this was a very long way of saying you're doing the right thing. It's just a different symbol.
Do we have that gauntlet still?
No, we gave it to the
because-
necromancer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she had to use it. She had to use it to teleport
Okay.
you back.
All right, so I will poorly probably scratch a clawed hand shape on the egg.
Okay. This is just I'm going to allow Arcana for this because this is like making a magic spell basically.
Well, I could use perform.
Go for it. I love it.
Luckily, I rolled a 19, so that would be 28. No. 26, excuse me.
Okay. So you what are you scratching it with?
The charcoal
really want
that
to
he
know.
tossed me.
Okay, perfect. Just want to make sure I had it right. You sketch on the side of this the symbol of Bane, and symbols are powerful. Symbols are very, very powerful. So I would like everyone to make a willpower saving throw.
Oof.
And I mean everyone. Make a willpower saving throw. And we're going to see how everyone does collectively. That includes Athora and Morezi. So, first of all, Penton, who's holding the egg. How did you roll?
Well, let's see. 18?
Very, very good. And Tix?
Tix rolled a non-natural 20.
Okay. And Athora?
6.
Oh, no.
6. That's okay. That's okay. And Morezi?
9. Ah, nice.
Athora and Morezi, you are inside the circle. In this moment, in this desperate moment where Bane is suddenly cut off, there is a great surge of power. And the circle wavers for a moment. And you feel Bane invade your minds. Both of you collectively, like how he was controlling the two children. You sense this horrible genie-like thing, and for a moment you both see the Faerun in this magical, insane nonsense place where all kinds of craziness is just the norm. But here's the thing. He can't take over your minds. At the last second, something happens. And you both think back to when you fought those mind flayers in the crossover episode where there was the giant dragon mind flayer that attacked y'all psychically. There were several times where like a wave of psychic energy went over you and nothing happened. And that's exactly what is happening here. Even though you feel the energy like coursing into you, Athora and Merezi, you are unaffected. And you just shrug it off. And in that moment, it's the echoing in the place screams, and the foundation of the place cracks in the center. And suddenly, Penton, you are holding like molten lead.
Well, luckily, I'm not too affected by heat, but I will put it down and not keep touching molten lead because that's
yes,
too hot even for me.
Yeah, you do take 2 points of damage as it superheats, but it is literally glowing red as it hits the ground and begins to morph and warp and change, and a figure rises up from the floor and 2 arms come out, but at the same time, like there's like this like a crack, like a unexpected movement from it. And it begins to shift. For just a moment, it's taking on that form that you've seen before, like basically the evil genie from Aladdin. And then it warps and changes, and some kind of horrible hybrid between a boom jelly, which y'all faced and done exploded, and a bald god filled with rage and anger is floating before you. And it says, "I will kill you all!" And at that moment, distant bells, you hear the as a perfectly healthy tiefling girl is born. And that's where we'll end Chafing Armor, episode 150. Great job, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had no idea what y'all were going to do.
Me neither.
Boom
He's
Jelly
hoping-
was it
He's hoping that he retains some of the one particular aspect of the boom jelly that is interesting. In that
he
he has
very well may. You
So
don't know.
for
You
for,
don't
the,
know how it will present.
for the listener, the boom jelly had 1 HP.
Oh.
Yep. And what happened when that 1 HP was damaged?
They explode
Interesting.
and die.
They do. So there's no telling.
So we're dealing with a molten hot jelly baby.
You might be.
All
So
right.
cute.
This will be interesting for sure.
Yeah. So just so you all know that boom jellies explode. That is literally what they
is
do.
known.
Penton knows for sure that since he was the one who actually collapsed an entire cavern.
I don't remember
Yep.
this. I'll have to go back.
You were playing as Merezi at the time.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, right. Right.
It's all
so
fun
we'll-
and games till somebody explodes.
That's exactly right. So we'll get back to that in a very soon. But real quick, I wanted to, because I'm having fun listening to it too. Could you tell people, Lee, where they can find your new podcast?
I hope this isn't from our conversation earlier, but yes, hello everybody. My name is Lee, and I have a podcast of my own called Peeves and Cues. We are a discussion comedy education podcast where we take a topic every 2 weeks on our Twitter account and run some opinion polls and then discuss the topic and hopefully entertain and educate you in the meantime, in the process, I guess. Yes. So check us out on Twitter, on Facebook. Just look up Peeves and Cues podcast and, give us a listen. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's
Always
a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
discussion.
Absolutely. I was going to say, and Dare was a guest on an episode with a relevant topic. So that was a lot of fun to listen to. So I hope y'all all check that out and keep listening to Chafing Armor. We'll be back in 151 when things go boom. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good
Thanks for
night.
not killing us.
Until next time, we will roll with you soon.